Hello and welcome back, guys. We're jumping right into a game number 2 with this business matchup. Guys, we're gonna get the names as fast as we can on the screen. Bear with us while we wait for that. But my name's Tools. Joined with me is the man, the myth, the Halo 2 legend. Had a whole newspaper article written about him way back in the day, Eli the Ninja.
What's going on, guys? Could not be more excited for this. So happy that we got some amazing open bracket action. Not before LVT was this ever seen. Not really sure which team is which just yet. I think Business is the red team. Is that right?
448 is Avenue.
448 is Avenue, you
So
said?
yeah, red team. Business is red team.
All right, so Business is the red team. Sniping lies on the blue team. Business, one of the favorites to make it out. Obviously, they lost that pool play spot because one of their players could not show up. Avenue going to be replacing him today, and this looks like the squad to beat right now.
I think Business should have a relatively easy time. It's kind of crazy that we had, I think, the two best teams in the open bracket match in the winners semifinals, right? They should have been on the other side. So I feel like Business, this should be like their game to take, in my opinion. But it's LAN. It's an important game. It's a best of 5 series. Anything can happen, right? Sniping Lies are on the cusp of qualifying.
No, you're exactly right. And they're one of the best teams that we've seen in open brackets time and time again, always seemingly right on the cusp of making it out. I feel like they've had so many heartbreaking moments. They've got Camo right now, though, and they got 4 dead. Can they start to turn this game around? Looks like they found the spawns, or actually spread out ivenough to force the spawns on this side, and they're trying to set up a pinch here.
Well, 3 players hiding low. This Camo player gonna try to do their best. Guys, there you go. The gamer tags are up. This is Ivonized that we're seeing on your screen of Sniping Lies. And he's been very patient with this camouflage. Keeps trying to get a couple shots in, but what do you think's causing him to be as slow as he is with this camo?
Feels like he's trying to wait for the right information from his teammates to know exactly where to go, but it's just not been a very clear picture. He's hearing that there's 3 of them on red side, so he doesn't know if he should push into that. Kind of ended up wasting all the time on the camo, but both teams just kind of jostling for position around the map. I see a lot of patient gameplay. No one's really overextending without their team, which is a good sign, honestly, at this level.
So far, staying patient. Last shot with this red gun. 3 bullets, and you're down. You can see the tension starting to build over by Tire's room. What will break it? And here we go. The push is in. Perfect shot's gonna be another. Oh, double perfect kill. Last shot getting the last laugh as he flies for Sniping Lies 4 down. Look at this influence of the spawns.
Look at this too. Last shot is 10 and 2. Massive stats for a Slayer. It's back-to-back perfect shots with the Stalker. With, I think those are the last 6 shots he could fire in the gun itself. So maximum value. And by the way, didn't Last Shot come from this team previously? I think he has played.
He was there for a brief stint, and then he left to get picked up by this team. So Sniping Lies was where he was gonna go during the off season, but then obviously, you know, you take the opportunity
right
when you're able to play with players like Taulek and like Taulek and Manny. Obviously, Druck used to be there,
right?
But you know, I think Avenue's just talent-wise, like, he's right there with Druck. You know what I'm saying? Like, just raw talent. I think it's just that game sense still has a little bit to develop there, and just having more reps online.
There's something about the triplets in general. So you got Avenue, Suppressed, and Diagram. They just play with an extra level of energy. It's almost like they bring 150% energy on land, which just raises the energy of those around them. I wish we could hear them right now, but we're in the complete opposite side of the venue. But I'm sure if we were close enough, we'd be hearing Avenue yelling, keeping his team charged up. They're only up by 5 right now, though. Sniping Lies making a great comeback here, putting use of that shotgun. Camo is going to fall down. It's not sure which of these teams is going to be able to get possession of it, but that's going to be highly consequential if Sniping Lies can get it.
See the players starting to creep up. Taulek doesn't even have to check his corner. The help from B-Plat comes in time with 2 down. It's just a matter of collapsing on these final players.
Yeah, right here. Sniping Lies not in great positioning. That player gets caught out on the B stairs. I like the positioning, though. They're not all hiding in one spot, but the problem with that is one player gets caught out all alone. And now Business smell blood in the water. They're going to start to position themselves on both the left and the right of Sniping Lies. You can see a member of Business off on that purple street. And there's just no escape options for Sniping Lies. They can continue to aggress. And then as soon as they have a few slays, you're going to turn around and spawn kill on the A side as well.
Waiting for all 4 of these players up. Sniping lies at full strength, but Avenue quickly depleting shields. No follow-up for either team. You start to see tension build on the purple side, and oh boy, did it break 2 players. Getting them down, and it's a 1v2 on the other side. Some great value from a player from Sniping Lies, but unfortunately, they go 4 down once again.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. The lead is only growing for business. This is a very snowbally game type. Can just continue to get worse and worse if you can't find a way out of your spawn. I'd like to see Sniping Lives maybe send 2 players out to a side instead of just 1. They keep getting overpowered. But as I say that, they get a very clutch kill on the top of the driveway. Might be able to get out of here, but they've got to win more fights.
Sylvanic lost alive for Sniping Lies. All the way on the other side of the map. Suddenly every death just feels brutal in this situation. It's all going to be about these untraded kills, and well, trade for trade, punch for punch. Gets them 1 step closer. The flank is in, and that player was unsuspecting, did not hear a thing. Can they stay alive? That might be some Houdini magic right there.
Yeah, jumps on the AC unit outside of the police department. Somehow stays alive. Yeah, seriously. Reminds me of very hard kills back in the day. But look at Last Shot, man. This is the newcomer to the squad. A lot of people had questions about him. Is he really ready for 4v4? Yeah, he can play FFA, but can he play on a team? I think the answer is yes. Man is 21-8, putting up insane stats in this layer.
Yeah, honestly, and Last Shot probably has the most experience playing against the players on the Sniping Lives roster, just because he played in that amateur circuit for so long, right? These are the guys that he's gone to war with time and time again. The only difference this time is he has fully fledged veterans on his side instead of these up-and-coming players trying to prove themselves.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I feel like when there's up-and-coming superstars, they always start out on a team that's, you know, at their level, but they kind of yearn for more. But then once they find themselves on a roster like this, where they don't have to do everything, you know, they can kind of fall into that comfort zone. And with a stat line like that, I can absolutely say that Last Shot was in his comfort zone this game. If he can keep that up, they win this series. They could be a force in pool play as well.
I was always curious from like a pro perspective, right? Because I've never been professional in the game, haven't been close. But you got a goddamn spot on the map named after you. You left a legacy in Halo. So what I've always heard is if you're an up and coming player, you should always strive to be the worst player on your team.
Yeah.
Right? The second that you start being like consistently being on that top slate, whatever moment, like if you're always being that top fragger, you should maybe try to look for a change. And I feel like Last Shot, he's still like trying to be the worst player on his team, right? He keeps surrounding himself with just better and better talent. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like that's how you continue to grow as a player. If you're the best player on your team, you're helping them, but they're not really helping you, right? But if you surround yourself with better players, or you just try to get in better and better lobbies, like you have to challenge yourself. That's the only way to grow as a player. Your ceiling is only as high as those around you in most cases. And like honestly, if you look at his teammates right now, Taulek and Manny, they came up in that like think tank of Halo 5 players. What they call themselves, the Fung 4 or whatever.
The Fung 4. That was such an interesting era, right? So the business roster, half of them from that Fung 4 era. But there was this dark period in Halo 5, right, where we lost the HCS support. There was no more official HCS tournaments. And a lot of players just stopped playing, but there were some that just continued on, right? They kept grinding. And a prime example of it was the Fung 4, right? That was Druck, Taulek, Manny,
Soulsnipe,
and Soulsnipe.
But I think like Super CC was a part of that group.
Right? And they have so it's basically like a big circle, right? And you'll still see it like these Money 8 lobbies. In fact, you know, part of that circle, right, were the triplets, right? That when we talk about Diagram, Suppress, and Avenue, the way that they cut their way into the pro scene was getting a part of that group, these grinders, and consistently playing 8s. And what you see is if you keep grinding and others stop, that gap closes much quicker than you think it does.
Yes. It's almost like a Halo hyperbolic time chamber, if we're gonna throw a DBZ reference out there. Rest in peace. But no, seriously, just challenging yourself every day against other players that are also challenging themselves and kind of holding each other accountable. It's probably the perfect recipe to get good very fast, and that's exactly what we're seeing from every member of business. I feel like Sniping Lies kind of doing their own thing as well. But right now, backs against the wall. They're down 2-0 against a very hungry business roster who want to earn their way back into pool play.
The punch misses, but the kill still comes through. Manny able to stay alive, and wow, even taking that heavy damage. is able to keep his life in his hands, and the ball time initially going towards business.
Yeah, look at this tricky play from Ivonized. Maybe predicted that player would fly over his head, just calmly lines up the shots.
It's always so hard to hit those shots.
Yes.
When someone goes over your head, you have to start using that Y-axis when you're aiming. I always feel like those are the hardest shots to hit.
I think the best way to do it is to align yourself on the X-axis first and then follow vertically. So you're not trying to drag diagonally. That's when your shot can be all over the place. So predict where the X-axis will finish and then use X-axis after that. But
as you're aiming up too, like you can hit the body on your way to the head as well.
Yes. But oftentimes the player's also moving faster than your reticle can even move. So, yeah, look at this, though. 4 dead for business. And a good-looking setup here. I would like them to extend into the A side if possible. Looks like one player has gone that way, and they're going to actually rotate towards long haul instead, I think with the intention to maybe eventually get it to C here.
They might have to be just stuck in long haul and be content with that for a second, because so far they're having a struggle at finding that player over at C. They eventually get the kill, but not before the flanker comes through, and Taulek's kind of like, okay, I guess I have this ball. I'm really not feeling any pressure, and well, I don't know if they're saying end the game or they're just team killing each other, but that was definitely a nade that stuck on a teammate's head over there in business, having some struggles at keeping 4 players up on the map.
Yeah, I don't know. Might have been a miscommunication. Somebody calling out a nearby area, nade being tossed, hits the teammate, but regardless, we got Camo in the hands of Ivonized. This guy's been impressing me quite a lot. I feel like I didn't even know who he was before the offseason. He's been working his way up the ranks as well. He's been making some plays throughout the open bracket to find themselves here. He's going to have to make potentially the best plays yet. And look at the tricky attempt to stay alive. Doesn't work out, but you can see the thought process there.
That's going to end up Manny and the rest of business getting this ball time. Sniping Light spawning all the way at A, but a quick escort towards that C plat. This could be a brilliant flank from Taulek. They find him on the backside.
Ooh.
Trades come out, but this ball still far away from these players at Sniping Lies.
Last shot had 21 kills last game. So far, just 2 in this one. Not able to find that same rhythm just yet. It's got the oddball, though. I feel like if you're not shooting well in a game, just knowing your place to support the squad, just be patient, maybe get some objective time here and there. He's done that. Avenue stepping up, currently 9-4, and if he can stay on fire, this team not only going to be a problem in this series, but also in that pool play.
Simon Lies all stuck over here at that pipe door, but the spawn comes in at back A, and well, that's going to lead to Avenue's demise. Sniping Lies try to get on top of that ball while they have the numbers advantage, as Manny goes onto the hunt at Gold Stairs. They'll be successful at finding out that trade, but Sniping Lies with a quick rotation get themselves towards A and are setting themselves up to be ready for any push to come.
Curious to see how business plays this. Looks like they're going to try to break into gold first before they try to cross. If you take that player out of top gold, you know you can cross more safely into A, but they actually both die in the process of trying to stop, and then they just send through it to A anyways. It feels like they started a process and then just kind of...
Right. I feel like Avenue didn't trust it, right? Like, he stayed on that cross instead of going through with his team.
Right, and maybe the teammate expected it. Maybe a few miscommunications. Understandable here. Avenue just joined this team yesterday, I think, so maybe a few communication breakdowns, but even with that, they're still very much in this round and very much in this series as well.
Taulek trying to cause some mayhem with the camo in his hands. 2 players that are one shot. Well, it's going to be a brilliant nade and shot combination from Avenue, getting himself that double kill and the ball time as well, setting himself at the red stairs. We're seeing the bottom A spawns come in, and this battle rifle in the hands of last shot is always such a deadly combination when you're on that long cross. Absolutely.
I mean, the battle rifle is what he used to win the FFA World Championship, so we know he knows how to use it on a map like this with those long angles. Definitely can outmatch the Bandit situationally. Look at that, though. That player, I think that was Manny, was lining up the shot for the remote detonation, but got taken out before he could do so.
See, and these players are sniping live, setting up over at pipes. That ball has a quick out rotation towards long haul if they choose to do so. And you can see business stacking the numbers over to pipes. It's going to be a fight that goes down at glass. And so far, Sniping Lies winning in every lane.
It's been a very impressive bounce back here, and still gets taken down. It was a scary one. Ezho currently holding the ball, usually known as the, just 5 seconds to go here.
Sniping Lies get the first round. on business. And honestly, a really impressive hold at the end. What do you think was making that so successful?
So they had the ball all the way at glass, and it's almost like a bait. If you're in the tower, you feel like you could shoot across at the guy or throw grenades at him. But he's just dodging all the nades and kind of using himself as bait while his teammates are pushing in through the A side and flanking the players before they could even get to the ball. These players then having to turn around and fight the ball carrier's teammates before they can turn around, and that just means more and more time. Sniping did a great job of milking throughout the entire round, and that hold at the end was very impressive.
It's so interesting being on the cross, right? You're on that cross point, but the angles just do not support the shots on the cross, right? So those players just having a tough time at finding their access, and business looking for a bounce back around here. Shock rifle. Not going to be enough for the kill. Taulek having a couple shots go astray. The third one not going to be the charge of Bandit. Not missing as well. They're looking like Don Quixote out there chasing some windmills.
That is not what we're used to seeing out of Taulek, if I'm being completely honest. I mean, this guy usually top 5 KD in the entire tournament when he was on that native red roster, but they've been playing for how long today? About 12 hours now?
Yeah, right. It's like this is the last possible match that you could be playing in the venue today. They're gonna usher everyone out of the building as soon as this game is over. These guys have been get through the gauntlet.
Understandable to be maybe a little bit tired, but you cannot let up at this point. Sniping Lights could catch fire at any moment. Already taking one round. Could have been the catalyst they needed to start playing with some more energy here. LastShot has the ball for now, but not many teammates to protect him. He's just going to try to leave the ball. Yeah, no free teammates. Oh, look at this, though. Rotates it directly towards the spawning teammates. I don't know if Sniping Lights know that they're going to run into 2 more players here. Probably thought that could have been a free push. Maybe expecting business to spawn at C, but they still do ultimately win the ball here.
Yeah, winning that first fight was so crucial, right? Once they got that first kill, the other spawners spawned over at C, and they just never got back in time. And well, now Sniping Lies trying to take as much space as possible, and he's going to be off the kills of Ivonized. Double kill. If you don't know about him, get used to it, because he's not going anywhere anytime soon. This kid is filthy.
Where does this guy come from, man? He just came out of nowhere and started destroying people in these online tournaments. He's doing it again on LAN, and this is the first time we've really seen him in this position, and he is stepping up in a huge way. This definitely bodes well for his career overall. Killing spree now. Playing so aggressive and confident in this moment. He does not care who he's playing against.
Staying incognito. Man, he's able to find that straggler at the back of C. Sylvanic's the last one alive, but he's giving his team that A spawn. They can try to take their battles towards pipes, but it looks like they're being very cautious at the back of A, not trying to immediately find any presence on the map.
Yeah, I think they might know that a player is probably lurking at C. You see them kind of sending out feelers to multiple parts of the map. They actually take out players at C and pipes at the same time, which means they should start to aggress forward.
It's almost like a scouting report when you're playing like those old school RTSs. It's like, I'm going to send my sheep to go check out the corners. But let me go figure out where these players are. Well, eventually they get the information and the kills. Ezho gets that scrappy ball time, but these kills starting to head over to business. It's a 2v2 on the map and long range fights at that. And Ivonized has to be a little frustrated right there. He's so close to that ball, but just could not prevent access. And Avenue's going to get away. And this is going to be a good chunk of time for business.
It is. And Ivonized just staying at the bottom of the map, really focused on this Mangler door. I'm a little bit surprised business hasn't sent another player after him. Yeah, they've been calling him out for a while, but he's lived the entire time. If he can stay alive during this push, he's drawn enough attention to himself that his teammates might be able to push in here.
But how much value is this team getting out of his life is my question.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really like it. I mean, yeah, you're staying alive. I mean, he is drawing attention and being a nuisance, maybe clouding the comms of the other team. So there's some value for sure, but
this is the value he brings.
That's it. Right there.
That's the thing. Every time we see it, it's specifically those close range fights that are so impressive, and I feel like those are some of the hardest for you to master.
No, you're exactly right. That is one of the most difficult ranges, especially in this game. There's kind of like a fine dance of knowing exactly when you've got the 3 shots down to go for the melee, exactly how much damage you've taken, if you can afford to not trade. There's so much nuance to those close range battles, and Ivonized seems to have it down pat.
Sniping Lights, they have this hold at the back of C, but there are plenty of players of business knocking on that door. They will force the ball play, and it's going to come down to this snipe shot. Taulek, can he clear out the pipes himself?
Oh.
That bullet just never came out. The next one hits the wall.
Gotta hit the trigger. Oh, there's no third one.
They just stopped it. Honestly, I kind of respect it for Sniping. Don't give him a chance to hit the shot.
I mean, Taulek is just not in normal Taulek mode, and that's kind of concerning, right? Like, you need him to step up. often the MVP of his
How'd
squads.
they lose track?
Double kill.
So, yeah, somehow definitely a communication breakdown on the side of Sniping Lies. They should have had the scouting report on Taulek there.
Yeah, they just let him stay alive, and honestly, feels like he should have been punished for missing those shots. Instead, he's in a prime position to rip heads or at least get some damage as his ball carrier just keeps putting more and more distance between him and the other team.
What I've noticed about these players on business and every iteration of their team, they like to be on all sides of the map at the same time and somehow make it work. Just catching people off guard, always being near a spawner, but also predicting that someone could spawn nearby. I feel like they're always checking each other's sixes.
I feel like I always understand it, right? They want to get 4 players on each quadrant of the map, right? And then if you look top down, you can build a box. And then what do we know from SpongeBob? Once you put them in the box, it's your imagination. That's how you take them out. You can just imagine whatever setup you want, and then boom, you have it. It's like, honestly, I don't know. They spread themselves out a lot, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, Coach Callis always says, like, you want to have that U setup, try to get as much presence as possible while not sacrificing the team shot.
I don't know. I feel like it works really well in some game types, but not as well in others. Like Strongholds, it's amazing because you control the entire map at the same time. You catch spawners off guard. In Oddball, I feel like you kind of need somebody as a bodyguard to your Oddball player. Oddball guy can drop it and you can team shoot together, but if you're so spread out, you know, oftentimes your Oddball guy gets left out. But as I say that, it's working. They do win round 2.
Well, what I noticed from business, what they do, right, is the oddball player is usually the back player of the U, right? So the perimeter players are really far forward. And he always usually has like a little bit of help somewhat close by.
Right.
But it is interesting because that oddball player is the one calling the rotations and having people play around him.
That's a very good point. Yeah, as an Oddball player, you should be the quarterback. Pay attention to where your teammates are spawning to deduce where people are on the map. But Avenue said, hey, Taulek, don't worry about it. Let me get the shock rifle. I'll hit some shots for you guys. An insane headshot. That player just getting absolutely deleted off the map.
Dude, imagine if he imagine if he dropped the ball, dropped the shock rifle, pick up that wall. He's like, I did my job. I did my job. You can have this thing now. But yeah, look, this ball just in long haul. This always feels like such an icky spot to try to hold this ball, but
yeah,
so far business trying to handle this pressure. And here we go. It's 3 players of Sniping Lies coordinating at the same time. They find the break in already. Love this from Ezho, just getting shots on the spawners on the other side. Not quite able to find that kill at top gold, but clearly understanding the position he was in.
Yeah, and he made time and space for the ball guy to get safely to back C. We've been holding this for 11 seconds now. This player somehow finds their way through the blue pipes, does trade out. Ball's going to get played, and my question is Sniping Lies in gold already for this play ball? Because if you're going to play it and business is the team already in gold, it's kind of a risky move, right? Like, yeah, you had to play it, but at the same time, you potentially give business a free setup in gold as well.
Ball still in that neutral position. Starting to see the tension dissipate as kills are going in favor of Sniping Lies. It's just Avenue alive as he tries to push his way out of A. And wow, what a nade. What a dime from Avenue. It goes just past that needles, right behind the player, and gets an important kill as his teammate spawned up.
Love this patience from Avenue too. Looking across the map into the same fight, his teammates are aggressing, just holding that off angle. Now going to push in with a great grenade and grapple usage to stay out of dodge just long enough and get back to safety. Looks like Facty, though, going to push in and flush out the pipes. See if he can get another kill here so that they can continue to add to the time.
Well, it's so interesting that business multiple times in this game thus far have been 3 down. I feel like Sniping Lies should almost have a little bit more ball time than they do right now. Like just how often we're seeing business hit the respawn screen.
Yeah, I think business has just done a good job of forcing Sniping Lies to play it or just forcing uncomfortable situations so they can't hold the ball. They have to drop it and fight. And oftentimes they'll throw the ball into a play ball position, but that means that even if they get 3 dead, then now they have to go out of their way to get it back to safety. And
yeah, it's almost when you play it out in that position, you're almost conceding that you're gonna lose that gunfight.
Right.
I think oftentimes it's okay to drop that ball and fight, but drop it by yourself. Like drop it in a safe spot because you know you're gonna. That's the difference between like a confident team and a team that's like almost playing too much by the book.
Right. Definitely agree with that. Sometimes you gotta do a quick calculation in your head. What are the odds that we win this fight? If it's pretty low, you should probably throw it mid-map. If it's pretty high, just hold on to it or leave it nearby so you can pick it back up after you win the fight.
I've heard a lot of pro players think in that sort of terms. Like they go into gunfights where it's like, this is like 80-20 me, 60-40
Yes.
me. And it's like they make their decisions based off the percentage of success they think of their play.
Yes, that's why I love to make poker analogies. It's the same thing as poker, man. Like, you're not always going to win the play, but you give yourself the best chance to, and I think that's what pro players do so well, is those quick calculations, risk-reward assessments. Is it worth it to push out one shot in this exact moment? Am I confident to hit my shot? Will it pan out? If I win this, what's the reward? And I think the best players in the world are doing those kind of calculations in their head, whether they realize it or not.
Yeah, the problem comes is when you get players like Renegade, the freaks that are like, yeah, I have a 20% chance of winning this, but I'm doing it anyway. And
yeah, but I'm
like,
Renegade, so it's actually 90%.
He's like, he's doing like mental games because it's like the other players like, yeah, there's no way you do this. Like this is dog stupid if you do. And well, they come through. So far, the game honestly surprisingly close with how much we've seen Sniping Lies like win the slays on this round, but Business, they've been consistently applying this pressure, and this could be a great time to get this ball. Look at these players and how they're set up all the way at C with no line of sight to get to that ball. That ball safely grabbed and put into gold before anyone can even look at him.
Yeah, and I like this move from Taulek. He's going to check A, mostly gathering information, kind of like that scouting you talked about. Okay, is there anyone in A? If the answer is no, I can actually rotate back into pipes and help my teammates hold off the pressure on the other side. But as he rotated back, they did go A, and his presence no longer there makes it easier for Sniping Lies to push through. So maybe a little bit of a bait and switch on opposite sides of the map from Sniping Lies here.
I think it's literally a 1v1 on the map for just a second as 3 players from both sides go down, and their Business is going to win the spawn battle right away. And honestly, you have one more good push if you're Sniping Lies. You got to put on the Nikes, get yourself going.
Sylvanic, he's in position to maybe stop it. He's the only one that can really do so.
Get the shots.
Oh, teammate comes in, but this trade, this 1v1 with last shot, he wins it. They're still alive.
Taulek, the last player on the map, but he is nowhere near to take the heat. The ball player is going to be playing scouting report. This can be always dangerous when you're sitting on that bat ledge. Very quick melts sometimes, but so far, Sniping Lies having success in the kill feed, and wow, frustrating moments for Business. This one's starting to slip from them.
Every one of these kills have gone down without Sniping Lies losing any numbers. Finally, first kill going in favor of Business.
Smart.
Melee's massive as well, makes it an easy cleanup. Only 2 members left to try to protect this ball. If Business get this break, they're going to win the game.
Guys, remember, this isn't like your main stage experience. When you get to the final moments of these rounds, this is the last match in the building. There's probably 200 people surrounding these stations watching this match. All of this pressure's on their back. It's so hard to close out these games. But Business just 5 seconds away from getting the job done. Sniping Lies having to play perfect. And with this camouflage coming up, it looks like they might be able to do just that. Camo gets burned, but there's so much space between the ball and the spawners of Business.
Avenue's getting slays, but they're not really ones that matter. The players on the map that need to be killed are still safely in A.
The ball's by himself.
Ball's now by himself, though. If he plays this out, somebody on Business could just grab it. He's going to rotate it. This is so smart. He has teammates on that side of the map, but no, that player died as well, and that's probably the end of it.
Business. Take a self. Look at all of them. They're getting all into each other. They're all teabagging. They're dropping it. Oh, the disrespect. They're jumping up. They're yelling. they're talking shit, keeping the ball on the ground. And, well, Business. You get the job done. That is a Business thing to do. You know those boys are getting up, getting hyped. They dropped the ball just to talk a little bit more before that game finished. And it's a 3-0 finish. Sniping Lies making it very competitive in that third game. Just, unfortunately, not enough gas to push us to a game 4.